Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I'm Jane. My husband Mike is behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free, and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Wednesday we open our home and invite you in for a mid-week money chat. Let's take a look at what we're going to have a chat about this week. So this week's chat is all about keeping our homes clean on a budget and keeping our laundry clean on a budget as well. Now, advertising and consumerism would have us believe that our houses need to be as sterile as an operating theatre. Well, they don't need to be. They need to be clean, they need to look clean, and they don't need to stink. But they do not need to be. And advertisers scare you. You know, they have germs coming out of the toilet as if they are going to physically attack you. They have germs on bedding as if it stinks and it's going to offend the neighbours 4 doors down. And a lot of this is absolute nonsense. Like I said, our houses need to be clean enough, but they do not need to be sterile. Obviously, some things need to be sterile. Things that we eat off, for example, for the sake of health and hygiene. But everything else needs to be clean enough. And I think that we've kind of gone astray with that with our homes these days. And because of that fear that advertisers are selling, and that's what they're doing, they're making people feel like my house isn't clean enough, my house isn't good enough. And there's an awful lot of cleaning videos at the moment which are about, you know, putting 20 toilet cleaners down the toilet and frothing it and foaming it and goodness knows what else that you really don't need to do. So today is about good old-fashioned common sense, keeping the house clean on a budget. Those advertisers would have you believe that you need a myriad of equipment to clean your house with, and you don't. You only need a basic set of cleaning supplies, and I'm going to go through these literally off the top of my head, and if I do miss any very basic cleaning equipment, please leave a comment below. You need a dustpan and brush, you need a broom, you need a toilet brush, you need cleaning cloths, and my cleaning cloths are old rags. That's all they are. When my tea towels get a bit manky, they become cleaning cloths. When our bath towels get a bit manky, I cut them up, they become cleaning cloths. Old t-shirts, old pyjamas, they become cleaning cloths. You need something to scrub with, so you need some kind of, I use what's called Brillo pads. They're little metal scrubby pads for my pans if they get dirty. But you don't need those, you can just use the nylon ones, they last a good long time. You can pop them in the recycling when you're finished with them. I'm going to check things here. Now, one thing that I do have that I absolutely swear by, and it makes my life so much easier because I have carpets in some room, is I now have a rechargeable vacuum cleaner. And it's a battery pack on it, and it uses far less energy than a plug-in vacuum cleaner. It also makes my life so much easier. On one charge, I can clean top to bottom on one charge, and it certainly saves a lot, uses, I beg your pardon, a lot less electricity. I need a good pair of rubber gloves. I buy good quality ones that last a while. I'm checking here. I don't use any kind of steamer or anything like that. I sweep from top to bottom, I vacuum from top to bottom, and then all my hard floors, I just use a cheap old regular mop and mop bucket. And I don't have a separate bucket for anything else. I take the ringer bit off and then I've just got a bucket that I use. So I would suggest to everybody that have a look when you're watching those adverts and think to yourself, they're trying to convince me that I need all of these things. Mostly you don't. You only need a very basic set of cleaning equipment. said at the beginning, we are bombarded with advertising, and they're either trying to make us afraid of these germs that are going to leap out of the toilet and throttle you, or they're going to try and make you feel ashamed, like if your house isn't sterile, oh, you should feel ashamed. Well, stop it. You don't need to feel afraid and you don't need to feel ashamed. And you really don't need many cleaning products. Now, I've got a list here and I've got 9, but I'm sure you could whittle it down to even less. So I'm referring to my list. I use washing up liquid for just about everything. Anything hard surface can be washed with a good washing up liquid. And I only use the supermarket's own brand. You choose which one you want to use. I don't find one any better than any of the other. The next thing is a general purpose cleaning spray or a general purpose cleaner. I looked these up. I looked these up in Canada. I looked these up in Walmart in America. I looked these up in Woolworths in Australia. I looked them up here in France. I looked them up in Little Italy. And everywhere there's some kind of general purpose cleaning liquid, and it will clean anything and everything from your floors to your work surfaces. And if you want to put it in a spray bottle and have a quick swish and wipe around. The next thing that I absolutely swear by is white vinegar. I use white vinegar a lot. I use it in windows, I use it on the floors, and anything and everything that I want it to be nice and fresh and clean. Bicarbonate of soda, although it can be a bit expensive, I find a general abrasive cleaner. Now, sometimes this is solid in a tub, sometimes this is liquid in a bottle, and you put it onto a cloth. And you can clean the cooker, the fridge front, anywhere that gets a bit soiled, the bath, the sink, anything like that. And often a generic gentle abrasive cleaner will do as well. Bicarbonate of soda is sometimes cheaper, but sometimes it isn't. The next one that you need is in some kind of acid-based toilet cleaner. And again, the supermarket's own brand will do. Do not feel that you need to have anything fancy. If the supermarket own brand says this cleans limescale, this cleans limescale. You need, if you've got some kind of wood, and I don't have any nice wooden furniture, but if so, you need maybe some olive oil or a beeswax cleaner, but you don't need anything specialist. My final one that I swear by is a generic spray oven cleaner. I do not want to be on my hands and knees with a Brillo pad in my oven scrubbing it for hours. You want to, you carry on with that. But a good supermarket spray oven cleaner will do the job really well. You might want to whittle that down. You might put a comment below that you don't use this or that other things that you do think are essential. But you don't need anything fancy. You don't need a very big list. Just a few basic cleaning products. We cannot avoid the cost of energy at the moment, and here in Europe we are facing the fact that we need to use less energy because there's not as much energy to go around, and we need to be mindful of that. The costs are eye-watering in the UK, and everybody there and here facing increasing prices. We're all looking at ways all the time that we can save energy and money when doing our laundry. There's the obvious things. Don't wash clothes that aren't dirty. If they just need freshening up, hang them in the window if they don't obviously look dirty, or do some spot cleaning as well. I do remember with my children at school, often their school shirts would be clean, but the cuffs would get dirty, so I would just wash the cuffs and they would get another day's wear out of their school shirts. But it's unavoidable. We've got to do our laundry, and we do need to look at ways of using less energy and making it cheaper. So I've got things here. For example, in some countries, in some parts of North America, in some parts of Europe, mainland Europe here, we have different energy tariffs. So at different times of the day, the energy is cheaper. My energy is cheapest between 11:30 at night and 7:30 in the morning. And my French washing machine has an inbuilt timer, so I set it to come on in that time. And you may have times when your tariffs are cheaper, so look at your tariff. Sadly, the UK, I don't think have anything like that. It's just expensive all of the time. It seems to be across the world, except for Northern America, everyone dries their laundry outside. They dry it on balconies, they dry it in the garden, they hang it across the street, they hang it on doorsteps and all over the place. And if you choose to, and if you can, the biggest way of saving money on your laundry is to dry it outside or dry it on a rack in an open window. Or if you've got one of those housing associations that don't allow you to, leave a rack out the back where nobody can see it and you can whip it in if anyone sees it. Now, when it comes to our washing machines, often we can make it cheaper. Sometimes we can use a quick wash, but often our washing machines have an eco wash and it might take longer and it uses less water. But another way of saving energy is, of course, if you can wash your clothes in cold water, go ahead and do that, or wash it on a cooler wash. There are so many ways of saving money when it comes to laundry and energy in particular. If I've forgotten any, I know you'll help me out here. Leave a comment below. Every time I go to the supermarket, there seems to be another type of product for washing your clothes. Actually, all you need is some basic laundry detergent. And then the next part of that is, do you buy the supermarket's own brand or do you buy a fancy brand? If you find a supermarket own brand, you'll often find it's made by the same companies who make the fancy brand. If you look into blind testing, where they do product research and they take away the fancy boxes and they just test the products, more often than not, a supermarket own brand performs just as well as a main brand. So there we go, that's the first part of saving money with laundry detergent. You only need laundry detergent, you don't need anything else. You don't need scent boosters. You don't need disinfectant. Your clothes get disinfected when they get washed. And the next part of that is using the right amount. Now let's come to here. So I have an array of products. I have a laundry powder that I tend to use when I wash towels and bedding. And I have laundry liquid when I want to wash things at cold temperatures, such as clothing. And then I use a small amount of fabric conditioner, and I've other ways of using that as well. But it's really interesting if you actually measure out. The measured dose for this is 45 mils or 45 grams. Now I've got here 37. You don't need any more than the minimum dose unless your clothes are filthy. If you or your partner is a herdsman and you're out on a farm, or you're some kind of farmer and you're literally covered in horse muck, pig muck, cow muck, then yes, you are going to need a lot more soap. But if you're just going to work in an office, that's as much as you need. Now this is very, very interesting. When you look at the proper dose for laundry liquid, let me see that. The line is there. That full, I'm getting that in shot. Is that in shot? Yeah. That full is twice as much as you need. So the regular amount is to there. That is if you've got a very full load of very dirty clothes. How many of you are just opening your washing machines and pouring it in without measuring it out? How many of you are just opening a box of soap powder and just pouring it into your machine and not measuring it? You will save the most money by measuring it out properly. Now this is the supermarket's own brand of concentrated liquid. If I fill it to the top, it's more than I need. I only use half the amount. And literally, so that's 75 rinses become 150. And that's €4 for this one. This one, I measure it to there to get my 60 washes. And then that works out, even at this branded wash, at 12 cents a wash. This one, I think I worked that one out to 4 cents a rinse. So even if I use a Posh laundry liquid and a supermarket concentrated rinse fabric softener, I'm still only spending 14 cents on a wash. And if I stick to this, and I stick to this as well, I just make it go further. Now this is all I need. I don't even need the fabric conditioner. I like it. Many of us do like it. Okay, let's get on to the next point. Now I thought I would finish with my favourite money-saving cleaning hacks. And like I said at the beginning of this, I'm not falling for any of that house shaming or anxiety causing things that my house might have germs jumping out all over the place or my house might not smell perfect. I'm not falling for any of that. And I have my ways of making sure I keep my house clean, but I do it without spending a lot of money. And I'm going to start with this first one. I mentioned at the beginning a generic general cleaning spray. And they either come in a spray bottle, and you often find a general cleaning spray, you can see both are similar, different brands, but they're similar, will come in a big bottle. So this would be the type of thing that you might pour in a bucket to clean the floor. Or if you had a big lot of cleaning to do and you wanted to clean down all your surfaces with a cleaning cloth and a product. This, my old bottle here, I fill up with this because even though it's the same product, buying it this way is a lot cheaper. Now I have looked on various websites. I looked at Walmart in America. I looked at Woolworths in Australia. I looked at Lidl in Italy. And all of these countries have some kind of generic, general purpose cleaner. It cleans, it disinfects, it degreases. And all you do is when you've done with the first bottle you've bought, buy the cheaper bottle, half fill it, or 3/4 fill it, however strong you like to have it. And I add some water. And that becomes my general cleaning. And I literally will use this, spray it on a surface, I get myself a wet cloth and I clean that way. And that saves me loads of money. Now something else that I've told you that I use a great deal of is washing up liquid and vinegar. If I am going to clean windows, glass, mirrors, anything like that, I'll make myself up a bucket of warm water, a very small squirt of that in there, and a nice liberal squirt of white vinegar. And then I'll use my old cleaning cloths and I'll keep one aside. And I've got some in the bucket that are wet, and those for cleaning things like windows first. And then I just buff with a dry cloth. And then you might wonder why I'm buying fabric conditioner. And I really like this product because I use it in many different ways. Obviously, I use it, a little bit of it in my laundry. And another thing I do, when I clean the floors, and this might be interesting to you, this is bleach. And it comes in, open it up if I can show these. There you go. It comes in like a little tablet. And I add just one of those to half a bucket of hot water. And then I add half a lidful of fabric conditioner. So my floors are all clean and disinfected, and they smell lovely too. Now this is a trick that I got from TikTok. I do love a TikTok hack. I must be getting with it now if I'm watching TikTok hacks. If you get either a spray bottle, like an old cleaning bottle, or you just put it in a bucket, or you just put it on a nice wet clean cloth, and put a drop of fabric conditioner either in the bucket or in the spray or on the cloth. And you, after you've done your cleaning, if you go around your house and wipe down all your surfaces with your fabric conditioner, it'll make your whole house smell really lovely. And it's a quick top tip, this one. If you've got visitors coming and you want to do some really quick cleaning, this, and it's not expensive. I buy one of these about once every 2 months. And like I said, this concentrated one is €4 a bottle. Now those are just a few of my favourite money-saving frugal tips. I might have left a few out. Why don't you leave a comment below of your favourite money-saving cleaning tips? Thank you everyone who leaves a comment. We read every single one of them and we really appreciate the time that you take to leave a comment. Thank you to everyone who hits the like button. It's really helping the channel grow. Thank you to all the subscribers, old and new. So on behalf of Mike and I, we'll see you again next time. Goodbye for now.